In 2017, a group of Google researchers published a paper with a pretty bold title, Attention is All You Need. Now, this paper didn't just nudge AI forward a little bit. Oh no, it completely rewrote the rulebook. And it's the reason we have things like ChatGPT and the whole AI revolution that we're seeing today.
All right, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the big problem that AI had with reading. Then we'll get into the aha moment, the breakthrough idea of attention. We'll meet the model that was born from this idea, the transformer, and see what makes it tick. And finally, we'll see why this one paper completely changed the world.
So, to really get why this was such a game changer, we have to rewind a bit. We need to understand how AI models used to handle language, how they tried to read a simple sentence.
Before this paper came along, the answer was usually one word at a time. Seriously, the main models were called recurrent neural networks, or RNNs, and they had to process everything step by step, in a line.
Just imagine you're trying to read a long paragraph, but you can only look at it through a tiny keyhole. You see one word, then you move the keyhole to the next and the next. To make any sense of it, you have to remember everything you just saw. This was the huge bottleneck for old AI. It's incredibly slow, and it makes it really hard for the model to connect the first word of a sentence to the very last one.
So the authors of this paper looked at this whole one-word-at-a-time problem and asked a really simple but brilliant question. What if the model didn't have to read that way? What if it could just look at the entire sentence all at once and figure out for itself what's important?
And that single question led to the paper's core idea, a mechanism called self-attention. You can think of it as a superpower. It lets the model look at all the words in a sentence at the exact same moment and instantly see how they all relate to each other. It can see the whole web of connections at once instead of tracing each thread one by one. Now, this is the really crucial part. They didn't just take this cool new attention idea and add it to an old model. Nope, they threw the old, slow, sequential parts in the trash. They built a brand new type of model from scratch, based only on this powerful new concept. And this revolutionary new architecture, they gave it a very cool name, the transformer.
Okay, I know, this diagram looks pretty complicated, but trust me, the core concept behind it is actually beautiful and simple. You can just think of it as being split into two main jobs, a part that reads and a part that writes.
So the left half is the encoder. Its entire job is to read whatever text you give it, let's say a sentence you want to translate, and to build a really deep mathematical understanding of what that sentence actually means. And then you've got the right half, the decoder. It takes that rich understanding from the encoder and uses it to start generating the output, like the translated sentence, creating it one new word at a time. But how does that attention magic actually work inside the encoder and decoder? Well, the paper uses a super clever system, and the easiest way to get it is to think about looking up a word in a dictionary. So for any given word, the model creates a query. That's the word it wants to understand better. It then compares that query to all the keys, which are just all the other words in the sentence, to find the most relevant matches. Once it finds a strong match, it pulls up that word's value, which is its meaning in this specific context. This is how it figures out that in "the robot kicked the ball," the word "kicked" is strongly connected to robot and ball. But here is where things get truly brilliant. The researchers thought, why have just one attention mechanism figuring things out? What if we had a whole team of specialists looking at the sentence from different angles all at the same time? And this is exactly what that looks like. Instead of one attention head doing all the work, the transformer uses 8 of them, all working in parallel. You can imagine one specialist is focused on grammar, who did what to whom. Another one is focused on the overall meaning. By combining all these different viewpoints, the model gets a much, much deeper and richer understanding of the text. So we've got this new design, built on a team of attention specialists. Why did this change everything? Well, simply put, the results were incredible. This table from the paper basically shows us the secret to its speed. For the old models, if a sentence was twice as long, it took twice as long to process. The work grew one step at a time. But look at self-attention. The number of steps is always just 1. It doesn't matter if the sentence has 10 words or 1,000. It looks at everything at the same time. And that is the absolute key. Because it doesn't have to go word by word, you can split up all the work and have modern computer chips like GPUs do it all at the same time. This made training these huge models unbelievably faster than anything that came before.
And the results really did speak for themselves. The transformer didn't just beat the old models, it smashed the records. On a standard translation test, it set a new state-of-the-art score of 28.4, which was a massive leap in quality at the time.
And here's the kicker. It wasn't just better, it was way more efficient. The paper points out that it got this new record while taking significantly less time to train. So it was better, faster, and more efficient. It was the whole package.
So let's just recap. The transformer broke that slow, one-word-at-a-time bottleneck. This unlocked the insane power of modern parallel computing. That led to its smashing performance records in a fraction of the training time. And most importantly, it became the fundamental building block for almost every major language model we use today, from Google's search to OpenAI's GPT models.
This paper proved that to understand the complicated, messy web of human language, maybe attention really is all you need. And that leaves us with a really exciting question, doesn't it? What other huge, complex problems out there, from science to art, are just waiting for the right kind of attention?